Verse 20 from the Message translation. Let's read this together. Become wise by walking with the wise. So if you want to be wise, you got to do what? Walk wise. Keep going. Hang out with fools and watch your life fall to pieces. Anybody lived that before? So the idea was, it said that, so if I want to be wise, I got to hang out with wise folk. If I want to experience breakthrough, I got to hang out with folk who experience breakthrough. If I want to end up being a scholar, I got to hang out with scholars. If I want to end up going higher, I got to hang out with folk going higher. But if I hang out with folk, when it talks about food, this is talking about somebody who is not acknowledged. The Bible says from that point, it's somebody not acknowledging God. Then you watch your life fall to pieces. What's my E again? E was what? A.
Sacrifice.
G.
Go for the goal.
L.
Limit liability.
Here's your E. Here's the next E right here. Going back to, again, this interview that we had when coaches did. Execute exactly. One of the most frustrating situations for any parent or any coach or any teacher is to spend all this time devising a plan for success, and the players and the students don't implement it like you drew it up. They call 40 West. 40 right west, and they go run a whole different play. If the play calls for everybody to go this way, and the running back decides to go this way, what's going to happen to that running back? Don't get sacked every time. The idea was you got to execute, and the point is a good coach is always calling plays to win. We have the ultimate coach in God. He gives us some plays to win. And the reason we haven't won all the time is because we've not executed the plays exactly like he said. He told us to forgive. He told us to tithe. He told us to pray. He told us to praise. And we have decided that we know more than the coach. And wonder why things like, oh, help me, Holy Ghost. The idea was, but if we execute that play, the coaches spend all this time in the room trying to develop plays because they know the play they have and the strengths they have to make sure they can defeat the defense. I don't care what's coming into your life. God has already set you up to win. I say, God has already set you up to win. I say, God has already set you up to win. I say, God has already set you up to win. If we execute the plays exactly. Let me give you this verse right here. Please read it write this down. John 12:49 CEV. John 12:49 CEV. Let's read this together, please. This is Jesus talking. And talking to his disciples. Let's read this together. I don't speak on my own. I only say what the Father who has sent me has told me to say. In other words, Jesus says, I am going to execute exactly what my Father told me to do. I may want to do this, I may want to do this, but I got some marching orders from my Father. And if I go back and do what my Father told me to end up doing, I can hear him say, well done, my good and my faithful servant. Say, execute exactly. And then our last one, the S is here, sacrifice for success. In I just remember during this time of Coach Wiggins interviewing for that job. And it was a long time between the time he got interviewed and the time that he got offered the job. That had nothing to do with him. Had to do with some other things going on behind the scenes. Nothing to do with him. And I just loved when I had a chance to talk with him. Now, I would stop by. I was over there tutoring, checking in with him. I said, tell me how you're doing throughout this time. He said, at first I was a little concerned. He said, but what I've been doing, I've been fasting. I've been praying. And I'm going to accept what God has for me.
Amen. Amen.
And so what Pastor was doing, now here's what happened. He had some spiritual understanding to know that we don't fast to change God's mind.
Yes.
Fasting is trying to help us change our mind to line up our mind with God's mind. So he wasn't trying to manipulate God. He knew that God had a bigger plan. He knew that God had an ideal plan. He knew that God had an order and a plan laid out for his life. He said, so I'm going to fast so I can grow to accept what God has for me. And I remember him telling me, he said, if they hire another coach, I'm still going to support him. That's the kind of attitude you want to have right there. That's the kind of attitude you want to have. And I remember now, this whole idea of fasting. He said, and I think he said he went on a fast for pretty much most of that time. And so, praise God, he was losing weight. Boy, he's usually lost a few pounds. But the idea was, he was fasting all this time, trying to understand and hear from God. Let's be clear. We're not fasting trying to lose weight. It's not Jenny Craig. We're not fasting, trying to go back in and change God's mind and make him do what we want him to do. Fasting, we are fasting to get in position to hear clearly from God. That we may have been out of position, and over here, we are here. Fasting helps bring us back into position so we can clearly hear what God has for us. Let me make this deal for a while. Right now, these younger kids right now don't know anything about having to sit down in a chair, get up, go to the TV, and change the channel. All they know, push the button. If it doesn't go fast enough, they mad. But it used to be a time you could push it on the button you had was you. And so you had to get up and walk to the TV. And you only had 4 stations. You had PBS, ABC, CBS, and then that's it. And everything else is static. You didn't have these 3,000 stations like you got on Direct TV and all that stuff. And you had to get up, change the station, and invariably, don't get to the end, don't walk all the way across the room, and it's like 30 seconds left in the show. You're sitting back down all comfortable. You got to get back up and go over there again. And there used to be this time if you had a remote, or there was a button that was on there, that was called the fine-tune button. Anybody remember that fine-tune button? A fine-tune button. Folks don't like, I never heard of it. This you did. So the idea was, that in this fine-tune button, if the picture was not clear, it wasn't like all this HDTV, it wasn't like all this beautiful, the touch screen. If the picture wasn't clear, you would have to manually go up there and the paper, man's head all wiggly and green, but you keep working that fine-tune button until the picture came out crystal clear. That's what fasting is. Fasting says there is a picture that God has for you in life. And what fasting says is that I don't quite see the picture yet. I don't quite hear it just yet. I don't know what he wants me to do yet. But I'm going to fast until I get in position to finally see what God has me to do. Hear what he has me to do. I'm not trying to change the picture. I'm just trying to make it clear in my mind. God has an idea, plan for your life and my life. And it's time for us to embrace what God already has for us. I remember and appreciate Coach sacrificing for success. Even if I'm not the coach, he said, I'm going to support whoever it is. So I did sacrifice. So now please write this verse down right here for your verse here. Write down Joshua 1:8 NLT. Joshua chapter 1, verse 8 NLT. Sacrificing for success. Joshua chapter 1, verse 8 NLT. Let's read this together, please. Study this book of the instruction continually. Then it says to meditate on it day and night. Keep going. Only then. What did it say? Only then will you prosper and succeed in all you do. How many want to succeed and prosper? Amen. So it said, apart from the word, apart from the principles of the word, it says, study this word. Study this book of instruction continually. Then it talks about that, and what's in between there, meditate day and night, and then we will prosper and succeed in all we do. So eagles, go back with me now. The E is what? First E? Seed expectation. A was what? The G was what? Go for the goal. The L was what? Limit liability. The E was what? Second E? Execute exactly. And then the S was what? Sacrifice for. And during these points right here, we now can sit on this season that started in 2018 to have Coach Wiggins as the coach of Smith High School football team in the name of the Lord. I'm going to tell you right now, if I were a parent and have a son, I would want him to play up under somebody who is representing the Lord like this man of God does. I praise God. I'm talking about somebody who is helping these students, these student athletes, not just to live and try to win on the field, but try to win in life. To try to help them, to show before them a model of what a Christian coach can really be. Come on, give God. Please, one more hand down for praise. My high school basketball coach was bilingual. He spoke English and cussing. And so the idea was, it's an honor to have a coach across the street that I had a chance to see for years, who continues to model and goes in and get closer to God every day, and now has a bride and a newlywed that's going to take him even higher in the name of the Lord. Somebody, I'll just give God one more hand clap of praise in Jesus' name. So now, with that having been said, I want to go back in now and share with us why is it and how is it that I can proclaim today that believers are to accept the fact that we are invincible. How is it We don't even think about ourselves. We've been talking all year about being extraordinary. That's messed folk up. But the idea now of being invincible. So here's what I want to talk about here. So let's go back to our title was, look at the title on the front of your book. What's the title again? Is what? Incredible, invaluable, and invincible. What is it again? Incredible, invaluable, and invincible. I want us to go back and talk about those first two initially, and then come back to this invincible in just a moment. So incredible, incredible. If you go back and look at the prefix in, it means opposite or not. If you go back in and look at this cred, R-E-D, it comes from the root that talks about believe. So if you put it all together, it means not believable. Incredible, not believable. Here is belief right here. And incredible, and then not, it says it's all over here. So here's the question right now. There are people, it is hard to believe that there's some people in here now who have been through what they've been through and they still got joy. It is hard to believe after the way the devil tried to take you out, that now you're standing stronger than you ever were before. It is hard to believe. Folk have no idea how much you've been through, the fire you went through, the problems you've been through, the pain you went through, and now you came out not even smelling like smoke. That is incredible. Why? Because it's not believable. Right now, believers, everybody in here is living life of being incredible because so many times you could have been taken out. So many times between wrecks and everything else, but God's favor and God's grace and God's mercy allow us to be here to still honor and praise Him right now. So we ought to certainly give God one hand clap of praise for being incredible. So what it means, incredible, not believable, not believable. So what's incredible?
God's love.
The fact that God loves us after all the stuff we did. Incredible. Oh, don't act like you know it. The fact that God still loves us. 1 John lets us know He loved us first. We love Him because He first loved us. So here's the fact. You got to know right now you're incredible. I'm not talking about your incredibles. You're incredible. Now, please read this. Please right here get this. Never forget how incredible you are. Somebody told you your grades going to make you less than incredible. Your record make you less than incredible. The fact of where you've been, where you raised, what you've not accomplished, what sometimes knocked you down. Now God says, now you are incredible. And I never want you to forget that you're incredible. Please read this last with me. You are more incredible than you know. And you deserve more than you think. If you receive that, please give God a hand clap of praise right there. You are more incredible than you know. And you deserve more than you think. So now that was incredible. Let's go back to the next one. Invaluable. Invaluable means value beyond estimation. Value beyond estimation. In other words, you can't put a price on something invaluable. There's no way to even determine the amount of value one. So here's value here. And invaluable says you're so far above that, it's no way to even put a price tag on what you have there. So what do we have here? So God says to us, what? My love is invaluable. Please read this with me right now. You are invaluable to God. Say it now, make it personal. I am invaluable to God. Come on again. I am invaluable to God. One more time. I am invaluable to God. Now here's what happened. Now this is what I wanted to give you that you see. Here's a scene. These next two pictures come from a scene that occurred a few weeks ago. Everybody was enthralled around the world about this soccer team in Thailand that had gone into a cave and got stuck in there. And they were in there for all those weeks, and then the water started rising. Even a Navy SEAL went in there and died. And as a result, every one of them made it out safely. In the midst, and around the world, people are hearing about this, and around the world, people are praying, and they all came out of there. And what we did not know, the point was, it cost millions upon millions of dollars and countless hours to go back and rescue these boys. But there was no expense paid to get them out of that cave. Nobody went back and looked at the budget and said, we got to stop now because we over budget. They went back and said their lives are so important that we are now going to put every resource we have to go back in